My price for Y2K. Ah, man, this horse is a menace. Look, Tim. I know we've been speaking for a long time, mate. Great buy. You've got 1.8 in winnings and zero point 0.7 in profit, so it's doing amazing on the track. This is one of those special horses that will forever hold value in the game. What will tend to happen is generationally, as we breed these horses, there will be pioneers in the next generation of racing, and they will hold certain value. Someone like an Atari, who was, in my opinion, up there with Pinkman and Wild Catter, who were the first horses who led the way in out racing the Genesis horses. And that's really important because, as we all know, Genesis horses will eventually, well, they should, go by the wayside in terms of racing ability, and they will essentially be retired as legendary horses of the track. They were there in the beginning, they were the pioneers, they're the start of the bloodline, they're all of these things, and they will hold and actually grow in value because of those things. But horses like a Y2K right now, this horse is one of the 3 or 5 horses right now. In fact, I think it's probably the number 1 in my opinion in terms of bred horses that are kicking ass in C1 regularly. And I think that is super valuable and will be valuable in the platform moving forward. I'm going to try and get as many of your horses up here as well, guys. Great idea. If you want me to have a look at a horse, whack it in knowyourhorses.com.au. It's a great tool. This could be a great breeder. It could also not be. If you look at some of the bred horses that have come through, they haven't come from champions directly, necessarily. What I do see happening a lot, and this is just in going through and finding things that I found along the way, is that champion horses like a Breathless Edge, Grandeur, Ducky Malin, all of those sort of horses, right? They tend to be generational horses. Not necessarily one horse down the line. Whereas these like legendary horses, these Z2 legendary horses that are coming through, like Y2K, haven't been bred from champion horses. So there might be something there that I'm starting to actually, I guess, look for and be aware of. Is there potentially something else to breeding where some horses that are bred from champions become carriers, and then what they're looking to do is actually breed the future generations of the future champions of the horse, not the future champions of the horse. And are these horses with not necessarily great win rates and great racing ability, but they're good? Are they the ones that then breed those like champions right now? So it's just a thought. What do I value this horse at? Z2 Genesis, they went for $6,000, $7,000, something like that. I've got a horse similar to this. It's a mare. I'd probably value this horse about 15 ETH. Just without digging deep into it. 10 to 15 ETH. Being a Genesis colt, you'd definitely be. All right, we're gonna have a look at Chester. I know this horse very well. We watch it all the time on the stream. Pony Plug, great horse. It's a rare coat, super coat. So that holds value already. 35% ROI with 0.9%, 0.9 ETH profit. The thing that's interesting about this horse is it still a C3 or C4, but it competes up in Class 2 and Class 1 all the time. I would again put this in one of the boxes of Y2K, 2K, of I'm mindful about putting a price out there into the metaverse without doing proper due diligence. But I would very much look very seriously into this horse at 15 Ethereum. Great horse. We love calling this on the Pony Plug. It's up there. This horse is up there. Current value, it's a Z7 Genesis. I would probably put in like a 20 times marketplace value on this, maybe up to 30. It's one of the best Z7s in the game. I would need to look at it a bit more data to see exactly where that fits. But I would say somewhere around 30K. I'm also going to say this, right? Yes, only 20 to 30 times market price, because I look at these horses about what I would sell them for. I'm not interested in the overhyped prices on OpenSea. I know that there's horses on there for 15 times the marketplace price, unraced, for Z10s and stuff. If one and a half grand is nothing to you, and you can go and spend that on a Z10 unraced, then go and do it. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. Make your own decisions. But there's still 7,500, Z10s to be released in the upcoming drops. If you have a bit of patience and a bit of savviness, you'll pick one up for $100. So, yeah, just be mindful of that. So when I give these valuations, guys, I've been slammed before from giving a valuation of 200 to 300%, and I had the person come back to me and tell me I was completely wrong and it's worth 1,500%. It's just an opinion. Feather song. That was well priced. That was well priced. I know. They reached out to me. I don't know what it finally went for. It was around 10 Ethereum. I think that was, without going into it, that was a well priced buy. I think that was probably on point of where it would need to be. And if I had the Ethereum at the time, I would have bought it myself at that price. Yeah. I don't know if you're happy to share, Exotics Ranch, what you paid for it. It's up to you, but it'd be great if you can. I think I saw it the day after it just got sold, and it won its like next 2 races, or it was, wow. So let's talk about this for a second. All right. I value that horse up around 10 Ethereum. That's the value of that horse to me. Again, there are other factors into this. 6.75 might have been a great sale for the seller. They may have bought that horse for 1 Ethereum. Look, I don't know the ins and outs of this horse, but there's so many other factors into this. And if you have an opportunity to get in there and you make 7 times your investment within the matter of a couple of weeks, like, get out there and do that. I love the name of this URL because you really should know your horses. So I've got 250 odd horses in my stables, and just to give you guys a sort of view on how much I know my horses, if you give me a horse like this, I can almost show you a horse that is similar in my stable, and I got it within 0.2% of the ROI. Not to toot my own horse, but like, that's the level of knowing your horses that you need to get to, and you need to really study your horses, and you need to be able to enter them in races without looking at data and all that sort of stuff, and then of course refresh your data. But that's where you're going to become really profitable. I want all you guys to be super profitable out there. Let's have a look at this horse. So we've got a Z11 exclusive Finny, just bred with an unraced Z1. I'm assuming this is okay, Z3 and a Z7. Where do I value that horse? Look, it's a good horse. Like, don't get me wrong. It just hasn't come from anything that's making me excited. And, I'm trying to fill my stable with champion bloodlines. I think that's where odds are in breeding these horses out. 13% win rate. How much has it profited? 18% ROI. I don't know where I value that at. The problem for me is to look at these horses that I wouldn't be buying and try and put a value on them because it's not fair. And so that's where I get stuck with a lot of people who message me and go, can you value this horse or value this stable? Because if I'm not buying it, it's hard for me to put a value on it because I don't know what I would pay for it, if that makes sense. So I'm sorry that I haven't answered your question. But look, it's a good horse. I just don't have a need for it, which makes it hard. Yeah, all this stuff I'm giving you guys as well. It's a very top level. If I was to buy a horse and put an actual price on it, I would need to dig really deep into the data and all of that sort of stuff. So, I mean, you're pulling across the board averages. I don't know the value of elite horses on the breeding yet. So if I was buying this horse, I would be buying it solely on racing potential. It's got a decent ROI, decent win rate. I don't think it's underperforming. I think it's probably performing about where it is. Again, looking at a top level. I would need to see where those odds sat in the scheme of things, like who you were racing for those odds. But, if you're pulling 10s and 11s, you should be winning 10 to 11% of races if you look at it all things even. And you are. So, I think that's a normal ROI for that sort of showing. And what people don't think about is everyone's so focused on this win percent, but if you can win 11% of races or 12% of races and you can place another 20%, that's how much potential you can get out of it. So you might be getting lucky there a little bit on winning higher value races versus the lower ones, which can add to that as well. But I think you're just ticking along with that horse. Like, it's just, yeah, I would be just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just going to sort of touch on my key thoughts. You've just got to look at what the horse is worth to you to sell, what it can potentially be worth. If you're buying a horse, you've got to have a serious look about your situation right now, what it's worth to you, what you can afford to buy. Do your research into what horse you're buying. Do your research on Zed Nucleus. I probably say that word wrong every single time I say it. Do your research into what horses have been selling for, and that's your best place to start.